Hi, everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of Shop Local All the Way. If you don't know what Shop Local All the Way is, it is a campaign Big Frog Custom T-shirts is running to support our local businesses and our local communities. So today we're actually featuring our Durham store. Our owner, David Riddell, is with us today, and we'll be chatting with him all about shopping local and his favorite clients that he works with. So if you want to participate in the Shop Local campaign, go to bigfrog.com/shop local and nominate your favorite local business, who will then be eligible to win a $100 essentially gift card from your local Big Frog store to get their own branded apparel. So it's a great opportunity to support your local businesses and have them actually have a little marketing activity that costs them nothing. So go out there, do that. And then you actually also get a free Shop Local t-shirt, like one of the many you see behind me here. And you can pick that up if you do a nomination. So please support local and shop local. As we interview our great Big Frog customers today, if you comment locally, you also are eligible to get a free Shop Local t-shirt. So comment on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever you're watching this, and we'll do a little shout out to you. So I think Seda, our producer behind the scenes, bring in David. Hi, David.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Yay. Perfect.
Good. How's the weather in Durham?
It can go either way. It's sort of north, sort of south, but perfect spring day in February. We'll take it. It's been very cold lately. It's been Minnesota type cold at 0 to 10 some days, but we're liking it. Back to North Carolina weather. So, yeah.
Very nice. I'll be up in Asheville in a couple months. So
coming to the mountains. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. So David, you actually own two stores, our Asheville store and our Durham store. Do you want to tell us how you started your Big Frog journey and what you love about it?
Yeah, perfect. So I was a retail middle manager for 25 years. So everything, hiring, workflow, marketing, merchandising, people, right? That's the world I came from. And Big Frog is built on a retail-based storefront rather than a traditional screen printer. So the service has to be amazing. You have to follow all those retail characteristics, and then you have to be involved in the community. And I never was mall to mall to mall, which shows my age, right? Or later, and I wouldn't even know there was a library in my town. So and my wife's a payroll bookkeeper. So when we're looking at it, it's you pick a franchise that highlights your strengths, teaches you the things, because I'm not a designer. I can glue macaroni on construction paper, but I'm not that guy. But I can hire well, and I can do the business things. My wife can do the business things, and then you and team impart Big Frog in us. So we found Big Frog 6 years ago, opened Asheville, and then inherited Durham. And so now two stores, 4 hours away, lots of I-40 interstate time, which some people would say is crazy, but it allows me to do amazing things, whether it's do validation calls for our franchise or play advisory committee, be a score mentor, be a president of another board I'm in, talk to clients, talk to other owners. 4 hours of busy time that I mean continues to help me learn. But yeah, there's lots of back and forth between the two stores, and I love having two because that's the world I came from. Always stressful because you are judge, jury, and executioner as a business owner. So when you have a slow month, it's all on you. But we wouldn't have it any other way. Now 2 stores and 6 years in.
So along that note, I was curious how you feel you're able to really engage with the Durham community, because you do live in Asheville. So what are your tactics to really becoming one of your community there?
So from the beginning, my wife and I said, be more than the name on the door. You don't want to be the person. I mean, if my name has become Big Frog and nobody knows it's David, then so be it. I've done my thing. In the COVID world, but before that, the internet world, where everything can be virtual. Yes, we have storefronts, which is great, but it's all about how you engage with the community. And social media isn't just about posting, it's about interacting. And one of our people on later is a social media marketer. But I sponsor just like I would, regardless of where I live, because I now split my time between two, it's all the same format. Free t-shirts, some money if you can, my time. So I host a monthly networking meeting that's free, and we'll have 40 to 50 business people show up. That's on me. I attend as many things as I can because I know which 2 weeks out of the month have the most events in Durham and which two have the most in Asheville. And then as one of our two guests come on today, he's a business coach, and so I will sponsor his seminars. And I mean, and so you go to as many places as you can. You can't go to two places 30 minutes apart. So I can't go to 4 hours apart. But it's when you're there, you just don't go and sell because nobody cares. Business cards are not invoices. So it's when you are there, whatever time you are there, it's about collecting dots, connecting dots, being a part of something. So when I'm hosting this after hours event, it's not about how much can I sell. It's about who's coming to meet new vendors, clients, referral partners, and then eventually friends like the two I have on. So fundraising, we've done tons of online, whether it's individual for a school or a Love Local campaign during COVID. So you can do it internet, you can do it live, but it's still just being community, right? You can't keep community moving forward if you're only concerned about you. It's start with the heart and the business will come, and ultimately worry about community, make the community stronger, which comes back to you. So I don't need to be there. I have an amazing team as well for when you come in, and we do as much outreach as we can in or out.
And that was going to be my next question, was how are you managing your teams? You can't be in two places at once. How do you make sure you have communication going? How do you just finagle that?
So the struggle in any business is people. And today, in this great resignation world, I think is the new term that they're calling it, where the world is leaving, we're a small business. I don't like the term mom and pop, but we are. We don't have big picture things, right? There's no next level. So it's hiring, and that's my strength, right? I was used to hiring for 15 to 30 stores that I couldn't be at. So in Asheville store, I just lost a guy after 4 years. He came on. He was with us the whole time he went to school, and now he's left. But the other two have been there 2.5 years. In Durham, I have two that were there the month that I got there, and now we're 5 years in with the same two. So hire well. Don't hire yourself. The problem is those that do something well think they can do it in business, but then they end up hiring themselves. I'm not hiring me because that would be scary, as you know, really, really scary. But I can. It would be ugly, and my wife would say that. But I hire great designers, and I teach them the business. So I hire well. I take care of them, and money, yes, as much as we can. But if I can offer 401k, and I can offer some level of insurance, and I can offer vacation, because time off, especially in the younger generation, and this next generation, the biggest thing they want is to be a part of something, to feel, and forget entitled. They want to feel empowered and enabled, and don't just sit back and put baby in a corner, right? There are those rules. I mean, so it's all people. It's all how I hire, how we train, how we communicate, systems and processes. If you don't have them, it's going to fall apart. If you don't have somebody that buys into who you are, not what you're doing, because they can do that with anybody, then you're not getting there. And we've had very good success keeping them. Pizza goes a long way, right? When you have parties and things, and so far so good. I'm not going to say we're perfect. We have tons of errors. But in small business, the advantage over that or the internet or large is full transparency, full honesty, and you fall on a lot of swords. We have screwed up more than anybody knows behind the scenes, as long as we know we screwed up before it gets to the client, right? Or you know how to apologize and ask for forgiveness. That's the key, right? It's like if it weren't for service, we would have been in trouble, because if we mess something up and take the wrong road in correcting it, right? And our people have to know that too, because they're the front facing to the client.
Absolutely. We always say we all make mistakes, but it's how you handle that mistake that really shows the character.
Customer service is not dead, although that big blue box national chain and Amazon and Google will say so, because the internet or a Dollar General, but Service is not dead. It will win every single time. Just look at the Google reviews for Big Frog across the system.
True.
And we're pretty proud of ours. I mean, you start getting a 4.9 at 350 reviews, you go, okay, something's right. And we're getting ready to relocate in Durham within the next month. And so then we'll have a brighter, happier, shiny store, which gives us a pep in our step, gives the clients a different feel, puts us, although only 5 miles away, those people that'll say, you've been around 12 years. Well, I didn't know you existed. Well, now there's people that never knew. I mean, even more of them. So that will be an advantage as well.
Do you have a grand opening date yet you want to plug?
I'm trying to get through the paint and the floor first, and then we will relocate rack after rack and the printer, and then we will worry about it. But first, I'm going to go to Frogathon, which people always laugh when we, because I mean, right, our convention is Frogathon, and we're in the pond, and all of those cool frog things you came up with, like way before me. People are like, "You're going to what a thon?" I'm like, "It sounds like a booster thon, but nope, it is kind of a booster thon. It's where I go and my colleagues go to hang with you, and we talk frogs all day, and we are kind of boosted. And so when I come back, it's perfect timing. I come back fired up, and I move the store, and then we'll figure out I'm in 2 chambers and like 10 meetups. So we'll have a dual chamber thing. I just kind of emailed and told them to be ready.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Gotta have a party. It's not worth it if 10 people, a couple ambassadors show up. That's not a ribbon cutting. That's a private party.
Yes. So in terms of marketing for Durham, would you say it's the relationship building and the community networking really is what?
It is, because especially, I mean, so I inherited the store from somebody, an owner who had let it slip and had changed the hours and the people and the pricing every single day, and wasn't exactly the warm fuzziest at the end. And so I got it, and I had to rebuild it. And over 2 years, right, everything from every customer interaction to everything you do outside. Well, then COVID hit, and there is no customer interaction. So how do you grow things? And every Zoom call, which can be kind of boring and now overdone, but those 2 years, I forged more relationships. And it's funny because the 2 of them that are coming on next, one of them I had met 5 years ago, but we don't remember it. We're sure we were in the same room, but then over 2 years, it became this, he supports me, I support him, and how you like, comment, and share and bring the things together. And then when we were able to come out in public, right, and throw the mask away cautiously, then the sky's even open more. So marketing has to be a combination of the new world, which is, I mean, Google AdWords and social media and constant contact, to just straight up saying hi, shaking hands, kissing babies, right? Because again, start with the heart. You don't want to be faking politicians. And if you're in a room of 50 people, they will see that coming if you're glad handing. It's never about that. It's how you become that. And the reason I have the 2 guests on is because they come to my event. I have sponsored and hosted and been to their events. We've become friends, and it just started out as a casual, and now they could do my speech for me, right? They could do the Big Frog custom t-shirts. And if you can do that and recite things about personal, then you know you're getting the referral system, because in Vegas, they have a term called whale, which is find the big client. And if we knocked on doors and found the CEO and a big client and we lost them, what do we have? But the bigger your pond is, another frog thing, right? The bigger your pond is, then the more referral system you've got, and you're never going to run out of clients. Although some bad months, like recently, sometimes I feel like it, but it's still a marathon and it's not a sprint. So I keep that in mind when I'm crying, when we have the bad day or the bad week or something. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I think we all have to do that.
It's the entrepreneur emotions, and they aren't like this. They're this. Yeah.
Yes. And I'm sure Michelle and Joe can relate to that as well.
Yes. I mean, when you take a business coach and somebody who does social media for a living, it's like they've seen all of those emotions as well. Yeah.
Now, you are super active on LinkedIn, especially. So I think we'll bring Michelle in now, because that is one of your favorite things.
Yes.
Hi, Michelle. Nice to meet you.
Hi there. Nice to meet you as well. Thanks for having me on.
Sure. how do you say your last name? Dofinger or no?
Doffinger.
Doffinger. Thank you. I knew I was going to get it wrong.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
So you are the owner of Triangle Social Media. So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
I
Yes, I
love your
am.
videos. I checked them all
Oh, thank
out
you.
before we got on, and I love your hair.
Oh, thank you.
Not to be superficial, sorry. Your
No,
content is great too.
it has deep roots.
It's branding though.
Pun
Look at
intended.
the sign and the hair,
Oh,
and it all
Hey, look,
ties in.
look at my hats that I got from Big Frog that I'm flanking.
oh, very nice. Very nice. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
Do you maybe you could tell us a little bit about your business? You do so much, and I have to say I'm so impressed that you post everywhere. Like some of these sites I have never heard of, and you post everywhere. So I thought you could tell
Well,
us a bit about your business and your
sure.
type of clients and
hmm
what you do.
Yeah, so I do social media. I manage platforms. I help with content creation. I do social media coaching. I do a lot of networking and events. Definitely see David networking in a lot of places. Um, And so what I do varies depending on the needs of a client. I don't have a particular niche, so my clients are different industries.
Mhm.
And I enjoy coming up with some brainstorming ideas to help with different kinds of industries and businesses. Um, and so depending on how much help they need, I can cater my package to fit that budget. And some it's just a little bit of help alongside of them while they're learning, growing, and doing. And then for others, they are hands off because they're so busy with their business, they need someone full support.
Mhm.
And so that varies, and I can cater that, specifically. Um, but yeah, I do videos. I go live every week. Like you're using today, I like to use StreamYard because you can
Mhm.
broadcast it in with the pro version. You can broadcast to 8 places, and so I take advantage of that, including LinkedIn, which is great.
Mhm.
It just helps. I mean, there's a lot of different reasons for doing it, but it helps to keep your brand active and provide value. So, you're spotlighting just like you're doing here.
Yep.
I love to do that, spotlight other business owners, and then also just share tips and thoughts that have to do with marketing through social media and just other things that we do to grow our business.
All right, tell me what you feel the optimum number of hashtags is for an Instagram post.
Well, there's like different thoughts on that. And recently, so you can still use hashtags, and
Mhm.
hashtags you can use up to 30 on Instagram. I wouldn't say Facebook, but they have to be specifically targeted to directly related to the
Mhm.
content. So you want to just be real purposeful about. So I am tending to use less these days, just because if I run out, and I have different tips and tricks and things.
Mhm.
There's websites where you can research, most popular hashtags, but it's not just about that, because you don't want to try to rank in these, gazillion
Right.
numbers. You want to go for the lower numbers, and you'll be more successful with ranking. And then perhaps that post might be in the news feed, in the For You, so that that's part of what you're trying to do. You're trying to get the most eyes on your content. So it's one of many strategies that will help
Mhm. I
for
was
sure.
just curious
Yeah.
what you thought. Um, I know that you have done a lot with your community. Do you wanna tell us about what you've done to give back and interact with your local community?
Well, I mean, really, it's what all of us can do. And that number one is check in to a place or an
Mhm.
event,
Okay.
and tag the person, tag the business, because then you're helping them in their social media feed to get more
Mhm.
notifications, right? And so it's mutually beneficial. And I think, when someone comments, likes, shares, engages, it makes you feel kind of happy and nice, and you're also helping their
Absolutely.
business. You're indirectly helping your own business by doing that.
Mhm.
So try to be very active in engaging with people in my business community and others. I'm trying to reach out, establish new connections through social media by commenting and engaging on their content. But I love to check in, and when I'm doing events, whether it's my own or another one like the Rockstar event that David helps to host. I'll check in, I'll take a bunch of pictures, I'll share that, I'll tag everybody.
Selfie queen with everybody hyperlinked,
Yeah,
right?
definitely. And it's fun. It's enjoyable. And you're building those relationships in person as well as online. So it's mutually beneficial. So just to have that habit, it encourages other business owners. That's one way that I like to, give back or support, encourage people in my business community by doing that repeatedly, actively. Yeah.
That's a great no fuss idea to help support local. I mean, if you're out anyway, and who's not on Facebook or Instagram these days, that's
Well,
great.
we all know that Facebook and its algorithms, you've got to like, comment, and share. It's not really doing anything. So just hitting buttons is helping somebody go viral.
Absolutely. Yeah. So why not? Right. We can all do that.
Yep, that's a great thought. Thank you for that. So in terms of, I don't know when you started your business. When did you start Triangle Social?
Well, officially 4 years ago.
Okay.
I've been doing social media for about a decade, but officially 4 years ago. And I've just been growing and doing different things, and always kind of thinking, what am I enjoying? What do I want to do more of?
Mhm.
What processes do I need to improve on?
Well,
Like
and she's
all.
hosted Michelle's in Giving Back has, hosts several events and has done several seminars. And so then you're bringing the business people together for learning. I mean, she's had some that cost a little bit and some that don't cost anything. And anytime you can host a networking event, or you can attend all the other ones, right? Presence matters, giving back matters, which is what I mentioned. But yeah, it's like some of her seminars have been great because it's not about her for an hour downloading. It's about, I've got all these people that I know can help you. So I've assembled a cast, right, as the host.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Thank you for mentioning. Yeah. And that's another thing I enjoy doing, whether I'm hosting or attending. There's definitely ways to, connect and build the community, and just build all those reciprocal relationships that helps everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you do an expo, a small business expo. Is that what I?
Yeah, so I've been doing the Small Business Marketing Expo quarterly, although I took a break this quarter, and I'm about to start planning another one, and just really bringing different experts in various marketing fields, the experts in their fields, together so that we can learn a lot of different things in one event, because there's so many different things with marketing, whether it be videos, your website, SEO, anything social media, even if your email list, your blog, things that we're doing to market ourselves. And so there's a lot of different strategies and thoughts that are directly related with marketing. And so I like to, I had this idea. And so I thought, why not just bring all these people together? Because we tend to do events or do online workshops and things that we want to learn. And so this is like a great event where there's a lot of different experts at once, and we can, visit each class, so to speak, and also network together at the event. So I'll be planning another one soon, and I look forward to that.
Yeah, I was impressed because I saw you even had a cybersecurity on there for one of your agendas, which is so, no one wants to think about it, but it's a critical component. So.
When done right, when you understand it, when somebody, because on the surface you go, I don't want to know. But when somebody can explain it to you in English, then you go, maybe that's important.
I get it. So what have you been doing that has really driven your business? What's been critical to your success so far, Michelle?
So two things in particular, I would say from the beginning of my business, when I first started, I did a weekly meetup sharing social media tips. Every Tuesday night, I rotated around various venues in Wake County. And I felt like that established a community, got me going with my branding, and I met some really nice people. And, things change and morph over time as you change what you do or how you do it. And so, but I've always, when or how often might change, or even a venue, but I'm definitely active with hosting, attending, coming up with ideas for events where people can learn together. And then the other thing is videos. And I was semi-active, but then of course with the shutdown of everything, a lot of people were forced to, okay, we've got to do videos. And Some people did more than others, but that became a really strong strategy where I became more consistent and developed better habit as far as going live or just,
Mm-hmm.
doing online workshops because we really had to, right?
Right.
But even now that I'm doing in-person events and I love that, but there's a benefit to some extent for continuing some virtual, like
Mm-hmm.
going live is virtual, but you can go in person as well. So like I might be at an event like recently, Napper Tandy's in Anger has opened and I love that place. And so several times I'll be there and I'll just go live and talk about, the nice service and the good food. And I'll do that for any other kind of venue. But
Mm-hmm.
so you're in person, but you're also going live. If you're at a musical event, you want to showcase and show the band and, that supports
Right.
them, the music industry. I mean, there's so many different things that you could do. Or if you're just sitting at home and you go live and or you upload a video and you talk about whatever your expertise is and you share some tips that will help others. Just using video in general as a habit is a strong strategy, and that has, I feel like it's benefited me, but I also enjoy and get so much out of it as well.
Mm-hmm. So if you were going to tell someone, all right, I know you have limited time in the day, here's the one thing you should do every day, it would be a video, or what do you think?
So tough question. So yes, definitely. But I think that, we definitely have to prioritize our time and do what we can do. And if we are so busy or things are going on and, we haven't posted in a while, for example, I always say, okay, fine, just get back into it when you can and don't worry about it. It doesn't make sense to beat yourself up about it because
Mhm.
it's going to be there waiting for you. But
Oh yeah.
engagement is huge. And so it definitely, we want to put out valuable content.
Mhm.
But we don't just want to keep posting, 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 hoping someone might see it and engage. Because if we want people to engage with our content, we should be doing the same thing aggressively, really. And
Mhm.
so, if you only have time to either post or engage, I would actually say engage because
Okay.
you're going to stimulate the algorithm for you and whoever's page account, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn,
Good point.
etc. And so why not, touch a lot of different people, encourage them, and you're indirectly marketing yourself at the same time.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for all the free advice, Michelle. I appreciate
She's on the clock. I'll get the bill.
it. David will hook you up with something. I don't know what, but he'll take care of it.
Hey, I have won his certificate. I was actually
Oh,
wearing it yesterday.
good.
Yeah, and so he's great. He gives so much value at the events, and he gives away the certificate. Do you have one with you? And it's
No.
like a gift certificate, but it's a T-shirt. Like, how
Yeah.
smart was that? And
Yeah.
So she's been a client, but then when at
yeah,
Joe's event, which is on next,
uh-huh.
she won. No, she won that at something else, but I gave it away at Joe's event too. And it's like, oh well, I was going to spend money anyway, and I'm like, okay,
Of
I'll have
course.
to give you this one.
Yep. Yep. That's I need another hat. I need another shirt. And then it's like, oh, great. So I'll get a discount now because I got the certificate.
She does sport hats very well, Tina. It's like I don't, she does, and it's like I don't think I've seen her with one without a hat of some sort.
I go through trends. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I do. But
Well,
I
you're a
love
marketing
hats.
person. That's kind of your thing, right? You have to know
Yeah.
what's trending. So,
And pink and purple usually. Yeah.
Yep.
um,
My sign there.
my last question for you, Michelle, is do you work just locally or do you take clients nationwide?
Yes. So I am more active with local community, but I have
Mhm.
some clients that are even out of state or out of country.
Okay.
I've done some, virtual social media coaching with some clients like in Canada, for example, and Philippines. So it's not limited. I can help people
Okay.
anywhere. I'm just more active with the people that I know in my community where I network in person.
Sure.
And so it's nice to have that ability, though, to reach both, here
Mhm.
and beyond.
Tina's going to say Big Frog is now in Canada. We are. There's one with a couple more
We
Oh,
coming,
are.
and it's like,
We're international now.
right.
awesome.
Well, all of Michelle's contact information is on the screen. She's got a very helpful website that talks about all of her services, some pricing even, so you guys can check it out. Thank you so much, Michelle. I don't know if you were going to stick around while we bring Joe on or if you wanted us to let you go.
I would
stay.
I would love to
Let her
stay if I
go.
can. I don't want to take up too much space in the square here.
My producer is saying we have.
We'll flip her back.
Well, we're
Flip her
going
back
to.
at the end.
Okay, we'll bring you
Bring
back
her
at
back.
the end.
Sure, no problem. Sounds
You
good.
pay attention on Facebook until it's time to come back. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right.
Thanks, Michelle. All right, there's Joe. Hi, Joe. How are
Hey,
you?
Tina. Nice to see you, Tina. Thank you for having me. And
Absolutely.
I was hoping Michelle was going to stay on. I'm a big Michelle fan, and I had
She'll
so
be
many
back.
things I had so many things to say about her if she was here. But
She'll
wait.
come back.
The producer says, I just listened to them. The director says, bring her back.
Wait, the producer is the boss. I
Yeah,
know.
I just go where I'm told. So
Who's
Yeah.
Joe? Joe's producer is his wife too. It's a
right.
business partner, so he gets it.
it's
So,
the wives that make us successful, right?
ain't
So.
that the truth? Yeah.
Oh, so Joe, I checked out your website too. I loved everything you said. Really resonated with. I know how David runs his business too. So, do you want to tell us a little bit about your business and what services you're offering these days?
Yeah, sure. So my business, it fits into a couple of different buckets. The first bucket is that I'm a speaker, a professional speaker, and that's how I started. I started doing this 9 years ago, almost 9 years ago, after almost a 30-year career in the printing industry. And I eventually, over the course of about my first year, what was happening was, because I had a signature talk around networking, people were asking me for coaching on that particular topic. So first thing I did was I wrote a book about networking. Then I I created the coaching program, and it was just a simple 4-week program. That taught people how to network more effectively and more productively. Somebody like David Riddell does not need that program. He has mastered networking all on his own. But what happened, Tina, was over time, I started finding out that my clients were actually moving on to other coaches. And I was at that point, when that was happening, I was already teaching on other topics as well, besides networking. So that was when I started to develop my second coaching program, which is, I would say, my primary program, which is called Growth Academy. And so between the speaking, the coaching, and my online programs, I have 2 online programs that we have. That's my business to help people around sales, marketing, and mindset.
Okay. Yep. I thought maybe you could talk to us a little bit about how you ask for referrals, or because I saw you did a blog on referrals, and what's your strategy to give referrals, get referrals from networking? If you can sum it up, I know there's a whole class.
Yeah, no, that's great. So I'll give it, I'm going to tell you right now, it's so simple that people make it very difficult. They make it way too complicated. And there are 2 things that you can do when it comes to referrals. So if I want to give you a referral, Tina, if I want to start giving you referrals, my question to you could simply be, Tina, how will I know when I meet somebody if they're a good referral for you? Boom.
Okay.
Done. Okay. Now, let's say you and I are working together, or you've come to some of my events, or whatever, you really like the service, you like who I am and what I'm about. So then my other question to you could be, Tina, who do you know like yourself that could benefit from my services? Okay. Now you drop in whatever product or whatever it is that you're doing in there to replace the word services if you like. But either one of those it simplifies it. It really simplifies it. Now, I am a big fan of Bob Berg. I don't, Bob, and he lives down in Florida also. And Bob, in his book, Endless Referrals, I have gone through that book, and I call that book the textbook for giving referrals, but it is not a simplified process.
Mm-hmm.
It is not simplified. And so what I did, and I do use the teachings in his book, but when I'm teaching, I try to simplify it as much as possible. And then the follow-up book that I recommend to everybody is to read The Go-Giver by Bob. Those two books, if you could read those two books, and then my book, Intentional Networking, you'll be a referral machine.
Okay, great advice. Thank you very much. Okay, I have an off-the-cuff question. Where are you from? Where is that accent from?
Well, I'm not from Alabama, obviously. I grew up on Long Island, and
Okay.
and then I lived in Brooklyn for 13 years prior, and then I moved to North Carolina 14 years ago.
Okay, no drawl yet. So
No. Although I do throw in the occasional y'all.
Okay, good.
That you have to survive.
Yeah, exactly. And here's a funny story, though, Tina. Michelle Doffinger and I actually grew up about 15 miles from each other. I hung out in her neighborhood. We're about the same exact age, but I never knew her.
That's crazy.
Isn't that so funny? So I will talk about that later. She's probably
I've seen it with several of our other friends where they ended up being sort of, I mean, one friend of mine from Asheville and Joe, same thing. It's so weird how small Long Island is, but how many people kind of could have run into each other and been from the same school.
Right, but he's like 15 years younger than me. Michelle's my age. We're the same age.
It is good. I didn't detect her accent though, so she's embraced the drawl, I think.
Yeah, she's done a much better job at it than me. She's ashamed of her New Yorkerness.
Oh, she's not here yet to defend herself. Stop. All right, I'm gonna pose the same question to you that I posed to Michelle.
Okay.
What do you think is the critical piece to running a successful business like yours?
So I would say if it depends on the time, okay, but the most important thing more than anything is as far from a sales perspective is the relationships.
Mm-hmm.
If you are straight up only focused on transactions, if you are a transactional person, you will always struggle. But if you have that relationship mindset, then what you're doing is you're guaranteeing business in the future. Okay. So, and the people who struggle, when I say struggle, they're the ones that give up the fastest. Okay. And so it makes me think of, there's that gentleman, the man who I'm forgetting his name right now, who's called the greatest salesman in the world. And, and he won a Guinness Book of World Records and everything. His big thing was staying in touch with every single client he had for their birthdays, for holidays, for everything. He stayed in touch with them. And so he had repeat business that never stopped coming in for his entire, until he retired. And that's the kind of, that's to me is how you guarantee yourself success in the future.
That's amazing. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
So in terms of, you said you started this business 9 years ago. What kind of challenges did you run into in the beginning, or even lately, if you want?
Well, I mean, in the beginning, it was, it was brand new to me. I was coming out of almost 30 years in the printing industry. I had done about 4 or 5 years in real estate in downtown Brooklyn. But I was, that was really what I knew. And I was just, it was okay. So the biggest part that was difficult for me was having people change their mindset from Joe the printer now to Joe the speaker, and Joe the speaker and coach. That was really hard. And I still occasionally will get somebody who I haven't seen in 10 years who will say, "Are you still doing printing?" And it's like, nope, I stopped doing printing a long time ago. Yeah.
It's definitely a big paradigm shift.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, for Joe, when he was your speaker live, and then it went to Zoom, that was because that's when when he and I really started to gel. Was I mean, he has to figure it out online.
Yeah, so you did ask that question, Tina. And so when when I first started the business, speaking business, I was trying to get speaking engagements, and I closed my printing business on July 1st of 2013 and did my first speaking engagement July 3rd of
Wow.
2013. But getting speaking engagements as a brand new speaker, and especially paying speaking engagements, was difficult at the beginning. So what I did was I started to create my own events. And I did that right away. So that this way I could guarantee I always had at least one speaking engagement per month, even if I was the one putting it on.
Okay.
And I did that. And so I just never stopped doing that, despite whether and I always would have paid speaking engagements or, at different times of the month. But I always had my own events that I was putting on. And a lot of those were, they weren't high. I wasn't charging a lot for them. Sometimes we charged anywhere between $5 and $20. And then I would have sponsors. I would have sponsorships.
Okay.
But what happened was over the course of 8 years, I was starting to get a little burned out on that, because before I even was getting on stage to put on one, I was already marketing the next one. And so we were going to stop that. We were going to start doing the monthly event. I mean, not monthly, quarterly events. And then the pandemic hit. And that was, I think, the first time David was going to be sponsoring. It was supposed to be it was going to be a live event, and then the pandemic hit, and we instantly transitioned to Zoom. For me, it wasn't a huge challenge, because I was very blessed in that somebody sent me a link to go watch to do this 3-day workshop called The Virtual Event on Virtual Events. I learned a lot from that. I don't know if I would have been quite as successful through the pandemic had I not watched that. But what it did was it showed me like things to do and how to set up, how to set everything up and how to do a virtual event so that it could give people that feeling that they were in a live event. So I'm just the most blessed man in the world with my wife, that she would allow me to, we hung up black curtains all around our and we set the living room up so that it looked like a big stage. And I had, we had computers all over the place. This was once a month, but it was really, we made it like we wanted people to feel like they were actually at an event. And then we had the big TV screen set up, connected to Zoom. And I was just, what I made sure was the same way when I'm in a live event and I'm talking to people in the audience, I was talking to people directly in the, on the computer, on the TV screen. So I would acknowledge somebody that was right on the screen. I'd be looking right at them and talking to them. And to me, Tina, that was why people showed up month after month after month during the pandemic. I feel that I was super helpful to them, but they were also super helpful to me, because they kept me going. They kept my business going, and they gave me something to feel enthusiastic about every single month. But we were having, David, we having between 40 and 80 people every single month, right?
Online. Yeah. Wow. And sometimes some of us were paying a sponsor, so then he didn't have to charge anything, or we'd pay a little bit, but then it led to this quarterly one where we're having all these people in an 8-hour mindset thing he's doing. But by him giving back, then allowed everybody else to give back to him, right? His business kept going, all of ours kept going. We still networked, we still learned, because you always learn in networking, but some networking things are just that, right? And you only get out of it what you want to find. But in his, it became an all-encompassing, and 2 years later, then we're all stronger because we all found a way to do it.
Right. Everyone pivoted.
Yeah,
thankfully.
we sure did. There's my buddy.
There she is.
All right, there's Michelle. So I
and
did want to
Michelle was,
mention Joe
oh, go
does
ahead.
go all over the country, right?
I
Doing
do.
keynotes. So
And,
you're a national kind of guy. So if
yeah.
you are interested, look Joe up. His contact information was on the screen a minute
And
ago.
three books that
Yep.
you
Three.
can
I
get.
saw two on his website. You need to put the third one up.
I think, no, it is there. You have to click the arrow and it'll take you to the
Oh,
next one.
okay.
But
Gotcha.
here they are. Oh, yeah, that's the three of them.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys want to banter for a few minutes? We got
So as I mentioned, it's like Michelle's held events, Joe holds events. I have one a month. I mean, mine doesn't require sponsors. Theirs do. I've been sponsors at both of theirs. I've been attendees at both of theirs. I'm a host at Joe's, and they come to mine. And that's where all three of us have said the way you make it in business locally is to stay local, and it's all connecting that. And we all said it in different terms, but Joe said transactional, and I said be more than the name on the door. And so you are building that community. And although Joe and Michelle aren't going to buy 1,000 shirts, they're not a landscaping company, but the amount of people they know. And by me being at Joe's, I'm in charge of B2B clients. And same when I'm at Michelle's, or Michelle puts me on the air, and who knows who sees it, or they'll like the comments and the shares. I mean, we went through something a couple of weeks ago where we needed each other from a support system that was business indirectly. And it was unbelievable if somebody were to pull that up to say, you know what, I support these two, and Michelle would do these two burly dudes, and then Joe would say it back. And then you just see this organic thing coming, and you don't get that by being a cog in the wheel or being the business card becomes an invoice guy. You get that because it becomes absolutely human, and it's helped all of our businesses.
Yeah.
let me ask real quick. Where do you guys advertise your networking events so if people want to look to see when the next one is?
Well, go ahead, Michelle. You go
Well,
first.
I was going to say on our Facebook pages or
Okay.
our personal profiles. That's one of many places. And then we share in Facebook groups. So all business related community groups, there's tons of them. And so each one has its own community. And some, a lot of people overlap and they're in multiple groups. But it's a great way to get the word out about things. And so wherever there's an invitation for people to share, everybody share what events you have going on or share about your business. That's another possibility, sharing in threads.
So Michelle, other than Triangle Social Media, which is yours, what Facebook pages do you host that are community?
So Raleigh Business Networking is one Facebook group. That's a public Facebook group. There are 8,500 members. And then I have Triangle Social Media Meetups, which is also networking, but a little bit more focused on social media tips and things.
Okay.
And then there are definitely others that I have either inherited or adopted or started.
And then you host a Thursday event that's lunchtime. What is that?
Thank you. So just today we had on the second Thursday of every month, GLOW, which is Garner League of Women. And that is a monthly luncheon for women anywhere in the Triangle, but it's held at Alexander's Mediterranean in Garner. And then on the third Thursday, coming up next week, is Business Owners Meetup, and that's in Cary. And that's held at Johnny's Pizza also. So second
Who's
Thursday
speaking next
and then
week?
third. Oh, I think his name is Joe something.
There you go.
Exactly.
And then there's a network called Rockstar Connect that's based out of Raleigh. And before the pandemic, they had about 85, we'll call them franchises, which are different events. I do one, it's called RTP for Research Triangle Park. So if you look up RTP Networking powered by Rockstar on Facebook, or you can do Meetup, and because there's probably 8 or 10 in the Triangle area. So you go to Meetup, you go to Facebook or web and look up Rockstar Connect. Mine's under RTP. It's the once a month. And that way people can come, hotel lobby, hang out for 2 hours, meet some amazing people. Then Joe, yours is Grow Your Network, right? Your community one.
My community is Grow Your Network, Grow Your Business is what it's called.
Okay.
And and it's an open page for, people can't just spam it, but I do want people engaging and sharing information. And Yeah, it's a
And I
good.
think all three of us are on one called the Home Business Success Group based out of Asheville. And I've been able with 2 stores to tie both of these two into that friend who has this home business, which is perfect for them. And since I've supported him, I'm in, but he also has a radio program. So then they're 4 hours away, but have found inroads because they can do business anywhere,
Right,
just like
of
I can
course.
ship anywhere. And so Joe's met people in one of my towns that I supposedly live in that I don't know and connected me, but then I've connected them with this guy, and that's what you're supposed to do. And so we all have community pages and community events, and then of course we do what we do for a business, but that's the byproduct of all this community stuff
Okay.
for the
Well,
end result.
I think we have to wrap up now because it's almost 3:00 my time. So,
All of ours.
all of our, are we
Yeah,
all the
not mine.
same? I'm bad with that. So thank you, Joe. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, David, so
Thank you.
much. Remember to
you.
support local, check out their Facebook, their websites, get out there, and don't forget to go to bigfrog.com/shop local or use the QR code on the screen to nominate your favorite local small business at your Big Frog stores. Remember, you're then eligible for a free Shop Local t-shirt. And that local business you nominate actually could win a $100 gift card to get great branded gear at Big Frog to help market their business. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to our guests today. It was a phenomenal discussion. And tune in a few weeks for our next session. So thank you guys very much.